Next up, we have At the Speed of Light by Dimrain47. Hang on. I need to check.
What's that smell? You smell that?
We had...
It smells like a fucking weeb.
Okay, we did not have this one. And the good thing I stopped, because this would have started, this would have played on the first 7 seconds of the video, would have gone demonetized. Alright, let's do this. Next up, we have At the Speed of Light by Dimrain47. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Consider becoming a paid member. I'm looking into doing members-only content for non-video game music. It's still in the works. We'll see about that. And, of course, 2 disclaimers. Number 1, I will be pausing a lot. I'll be pausing a lot because I'm going to be pointing things out as I hear them. And number 2, this is happening live on stream on a single take. So there's that. And yes, Dimrain did comment on our previous video. He liked the analysis. So if you see this, Dimrain, hi, you're good. You're really cool. So let's check out another one of yours. Let's do this. Let's do this. At the Speed of Light. Let's go. Let's see what you got. I like this. We're 5 seconds in, and we're not doing rhythmic displacement. And we got a very cheeky chorus on one side, strings on the other. They're panned a little bit, and they do a very, very subtle, just very subtle start. It gave us what I think was an initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from. And we heard that kick drum kicking in, so let me go back a couple of seconds so that we can hear it again. Let's see. We add another synth at the top doing arpeggios. Arpeggios is when you play chords one note at a time. And yes. Oh yeah, it is your username, yes. But there you go. You chose that, so let's see what this goes. Very neoclassical. Like, this is something you would hear from like power metal bands and like Yngwie Malmsteen or Jason Becker, people like that. Very, very cool, like, cadences over there. It's very classical music oriented, very epic in that sense. So hearing that on something like this, that's pretty cool. Let's see where this goes. It's metal EDM. It absolutely is, because on principle, if you swap the drum kit that is happening right now and you put a metal drum kit, a tukupaku type of drums, you change the synth holding the chords in the back to a guitar holding the chords with palm muting. You leave the rest the same. Yeah, this is metal. This is metal. The composition, the harmony, the melodies, they are pretty metal. They are pretty metal. Like I've heard several bands with this kind of vibe. It's very, very good. Let's see. Okay, so we had two things going on, right? So first half of this little bit, we had a flying melody. Flying melody is a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial term just means that there is no official term or academic term when it comes to this. I'm just using this as a way to explain it. So a flying melody to me is you have a bass line, a drum line. They're fairly busy and they're keeping everything active, and then on top you have a slower melody simpler, slower than everything else, flying above everything else. But what we're doing here is that we're doing half of it with that, and then we're doing arpeggios. And the cool thing is they're harmonized and they're panned. Panning, of course, let me go through the concept one more time. When it comes to panning, when it comes to music and sound in general, nowadays our standard is stereo sound. You have the left speaker, you have the right speaker, because we are human beings. We have a left ear and a right ear. So it's the simplest way to do it. So you have left, right, you have yourself right here in the middle, all happy, deformed, and bald, therefore evil. So when you're doing panning, it means which ear is going to be prioritized. And the way you prioritize things is by raising or lowering the volume. What if we had 3 ears? In stereo would be a 3-way thing, yeah. So if you have 100% volume of a track on both ears, it's going to sound like it's coming from the top. If you reduce the volume of the left ear, it's going to sound like it comes from the right, and vice versa. So what we're doing right now is we have a synth number 1 doing an arpeggio on the right ear, and synth number 2 doing a harmony for that arpeggio on the left ear. A harmony is just 2 melodies playing together, playing roughly the same musical idea, just from a different point in the scale, and it just makes it sound prettier, basically, or it makes it sound more layered. So let's see where this goes. Oh, this is great. And we just do a cadence, 1 drum beat, and we switch over to just flat out piano. That was a twist I was not expecting. That is a twist I was not expecting, because those arpeggios reminded me a lot of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, the 3rd movement. The way those arpeggios were being played up and down, because it kind of resembled the Moonlight Sonata a little bit. But now we go to the piano. And again, when it comes to instrumentation and orchestration, you want to pick the right instrument, not just for the right sound, but also for the right psychological response. And when you do when you change over to a piano, the piano is often very much reducing scale and focusing on a single individual kind of thing. So, yeah, very cool. We went off the ramp as well with this. Going off the ramp, another colloquial term that I use, which is basically you want to create a moment of suspension, making your listener feel like they're up in the air. You remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, and there's that. Feel offended? I'm not a human being. What are you, a communist then? Sort of thing. Dimrain is, if I remember correctly, these tracks are unmixed because he didn't know how to do that or something correct. That's really cool, because I can't mix either. I pay somebody to mix for me. So this is my first time listening to the track. Yes, let's see where this goes. And we immediately put some strings on the right ear as well to give a little bit of counterpoint. So there you go. I mean, it could be like the like if you want to put a 3rd ear on a human being, you can go like the way the owls do, because owls have 1 ear on the top of the head and 1 ear at the bottom. So you could do 1 ear at the top and 2 ears at the bottom, or 2 ears at the top, 1 at the bottom. Considering how human beings are built, 2 ears at the bottom, 1 at the top would make the most sense. That's how it would look like if we had 3 ears. So, there you go. Let's continue. We bring back the drum kit. That first synth doing a similar melody. Back to the very fast. Oh, hell yeah. This is just a very metal thing. Like, this reminds me a lot of, again, it reminds me of guitarists like Yngwie Malmsteen, of pianists like Beethoven, the way the melodies are being weaved through with all these notes in between, but they all have a very precise starting and ending point. So, there you go. 2 on one side and 1 on the other, it would probably be unbalanced. And the thing is, us human beings, we are an extraordinary thing because our ears are caved in. Most mammals have ears that they can turn. So if we had 3 ears, we would likely be able to turn them. So yeah. Anyway, let me stay on topic. Let me stay on topic here. Let's see where this goes. Again, ooh, a bit of modulation there. No, it's not modulation. We're just changing a chord, but it was really cool. Off the ramp and... Yeah, it just reminds me of the Moonlight Sonata. Like, if you want to hear a piano, a melody line that sounds this kind of way, because the way that these melodies are built is kind of like very much going up and down, but higher, but higher, but higher, and it kind of loops and loops and loops the way that it goes, and it keeps going upward. So yeah, it would be more like going upward and upward and upward and upward. If you want a melody like that, listen to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, the third movement. After the whole thing is basically done on that kind of motif. And we have a very similar motif going on over here. We have that, and then we have the actual melody going on. And it's just really, really, really cool how we are building this. Like, if Dimrain did not take inspiration from like Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata third movement or a similar piece, then I don't know what's going on here, because it's a very, very, very similar shape of melody. So yeah, like there was a thing, like, by the way, Igor Stravinsky, one of the greatest composers of the 20th century, he once said, "A good composer borrows, a great composer steals." What does that mean? If you're a good composer and you borrow, you will take an idea from another composer and you will just repeat it. If you steal it, you will take the idea, you will internalize it, and you will make a version of your own that sounds entirely like it was made by you. And right now, Dimrain is doing exactly that. This sounds stolen. Because it took me a while, like, what does this remind me of? What does this remind me of? I had to actively listen. Because if you bring a tribute to Beethoven, yeah, you're borrowing from Beethoven, you're going to hear it, and it's going to sound like Beethoven. Isn't that inspiration? Yes, it is. But that is proper inspiration. That is proper inspiration. So, there you go. Why are they singing so late? I don't know. Let's hear it. Man. I love these types of arpeggios. So once again, we're doing arpeggios, but what we're doing over here is we are doing the high point of the arpeggios, because these arpeggios are doing this kind of shape, right? Like, we are undulating back and forth. And what we are doing in this, because it's a very, very cool way of making an overall melody, is this is roughly the shape we are using right now. It's going down, upwards and downwards, and every time goes a little bit further down. But we are doing what is called an accent. And an accent in music, unlike me switching the way that I'm speaking and making it sound like I come from a different country, what we're doing is we are making sure that an accent in music is a rhythmic thing. So we are bringing attention to a specific part of these melodies. So what we're doing is we're adding an extra bit of focus to the highest note of each individual arc that we have over here. So not only are we getting all these really cool going up and down, but it also sounds like we are getting this one single musical line, this scale going downward that way. It's a very, very cool way of doing this. And yes, morally correct theft. Yes, 100%. Yeah. So we're using a staccato on the upper note, and it could be that we're using a doubling. We might be having a doubling there. We might have a second synth there, just giving that extra beep, 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 so that it sounds like the scale is going there, and it accentuates even further. So there's that. Let's see where it goes. It's really cool. Is it like sforzando? So the difference between this and a sforzando is that a sforzando would mean that the instrument is actively trying to be louder. So what is a sforzando, now that it got brought up? So in music, we have something called dynamics. Dynamics is how loud or how quiet an instrument can be played. Unlike with volume, dynamics is based on velocity. So it's one thing. Volume is when you turn up and down the volume knob. So you make it faster, or you make it louder or quieter. But that is with the slider. With dynamics is how loud or how quiet you play the instrument. So when it comes to music, it ranges from piano, which is soft, versus forte, which means loud. Coconut, welcome to the day. How you doing? And in music, you can you can put many pianos together, so get pianissimo, 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 that kind of thing. Then you can add forte, fortissimo, 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 whatever you want. You can have them in the middle. Mezzo piano, which is kind of quiet. Mezzo forte, which is kind of loud. And then you have special relative terms. For example, you have sforzando and sforzato. Sforzando and sforzato means you play louder than the rest. You force the instrument to sound louder than everyone else. Usually it's used for instruments like trumpets, trombones. Try refreshing, Nico. Let's see if that works. It's going to be used for trumpets, trombones, so that there's a lot going on and they just play louder all of a sudden. It's just a very punching through kind of feeling. And that is a sforzando. Right now, what we're doing is an accent. So we are doing this a lot more subtly. It's not a sforzando, it's just an accent. So we are having another instrument play not louder, but it's just playing a note. And the fact that there's now this extra layer going on there, it brings it to our attention. If it was a sforzando, it would be the main thing that we are hearing. And it's not. It's just another layer of this really cool... I feel the microphone, sorry. It's really cool thing that is happening. I don't know what's going on. That's probably Twitch being silly. So, Nick, it's not baby oil. It's not baby oil. All right, let's continue. See. All right, we bring back the piano. So right now we're having, also structurally speaking, we're having two major things. We have section A. So in music, we have form or structure. We had section A, which is these insane arpeggios. And then we're having section B, which is the piano section. And when it comes to music, you want your section B to be contrasting. You don't want it to be too much of new material. You still want it to keep it a certain way. And right now, the piano is keeping some of the melodic shapes the same way. So that is a good thing. Because once again, when you're making music, you want to make a delicate balance. You want to keep a delicate balance between keeping things familiar and bringing new elements to it. So it's a delicate balance. If you keep things too samey for too long, the listener will get bored, tunes out. If you keep things too new, you introduce too many new elements at the same time, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. So it's a very difficult balance to achieve, especially when you change from section to section and you want to introduce something new. So what has Dimrain done? He has introduced a piano with a simpler version of a variation of one of the motifs. And we introduced the layers one at a time. So we went from A to B, then we went back to A, which we would call A prime. Prime just means it's a variation, still the same overall idea, and now we are back to B prime. So this is a binary structure. Let's see where this goes. Yep, look at that. Yeah, fairly straightforward recapitulation. We just added one more instrument at the top, giving us the flying melody. Ooh. We did a direct modulation. So when it comes to modulation, I think we've discussed it a little bit here, but we've discussed modulation. Modulation is when you change what key signature you're in. Your key signature is what chords you are using, the different, whatever different chords you're using, right? Usually for modulation, you want to do common chord or common tone modulation, which is you find whatever overlaps you have between scale or chord group number 1, scale group number 2, and you just find an overlap, you run that those chords in there so that you can land smoothly. And then there is direct modulation. There's direct modulation. And I think Nico, what is saying is that there's even more delay than what you expect. So that happens. We are on the other platforms now. So yeah, so then there's direct modulation, which is just, oh, we were in the old key. Now we're in the new key. What scale is? I don't know. I don't have perfect pitch. I don't have perfect pitch. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Just rather welcome to the day. How you doing? Yeah, it's a callback, so we're still in section B. So yeah, section B, it can be annoying, but it's fine. It's just one of the limitations that we have. So yeah, no, we have a very, very cool... We changed the instrumentation, but we're still in section B. Nice. Don't waste your points. We're not taking any more requests today, by the way. Let's see. And back to section A we go. Really, really cool cadence, really cool moment of going off the ramp once again with those just giving more attention to this. We are back to at least A prime. We might be doing A double prime. If it cuts off your message, then that is likely an issue with Twitch itself. So that's why we stream in multiple platforms. So let's see. Yep, back to A. Oh, listen to that. It's so cool. And technically speaking, this is also called a call and response. Between the flying melody and the arpeggios, call and response means one does one thing, the other one responds immediately. The flying melody stops playing, and the moment it stops playing, the arpeggios start doing. Flying melody is the call, the arpeggios are the response. And we're just having this back and forth going on. It's really cool. Really, really cool concept. Let's see. And now we have them both going at the same time. Really cool. B double prime. So that was A double prime, B double prime. Roughly the same musical idea. Direct modulation once again. Is there a term for a three-way call and response? It would still be a call and response. Like, you can have multiple things, and the idea of a call and response doesn't mean that it's not limited to two instruments. You can have a call and response be, let's put the example of a string quartet, right? We have violin 1, we have violin 2, we have viola, and we have cello. You could have viola doing a you could have the viola doing a call, cello doing the response, violin doing the next call, cello doing the next response, violin doing the next call, viola doing the next response, violin 2 doing the next call. You can bounce back and forth. Call and response just means there is one musical line going on, followed immediately by another musical line. That's all it means. It doesn't mean it's only limited to two instruments. It can happen. It can be like an argument. It can be like a conversation. It can be pretty much everything. The principle is that one instrument starts one and the other instrument continues. And it can even be within the same instrument. It's just that there are two musical lines. One is done. One is done, and immediately followed up by another one. And you can chain them. It's not advisable to add too many different responses to the call. Like, usually the safest bet is to do two layers or two melodies, because you don't want, again, it goes back to the whole concept of keeping a balance, right? You don't want to introduce, because the problem is if you introduce too many new lines with your call and response, then you risk overwhelming your listener. However, if you're doing something like a climax of a longer composition where you had something like 7, 8, 9 motifs, you can do that. You can absolutely tie in all those different motifs. For example, what example can I think of? I know that Mozart does this a lot, that you have a bunch of motifs. Although, yeah, in a lot of opera overtures, you will see that, because an overture is kind of like the summary introduction of an opera. So you will be seeing a lot of different motifs going on one after the other, many times in a call and response kind of thing. However, The idea of a call and response is usually when you feel the dynamic of the two instruments or the several instruments or the several musical lines having a conversation. That's the feeling that you get with a call and response. Because otherwise, you know, going from A to B would technically be a call and response, but it's not. It's because it doesn't feel like a conversation between the two. So that's the main difference over here that we're having. Crazy used a lot simultaneously. Crazy can have that, and we can have a lot of these things going on. So yeah, you can have multiple lines, you can have multiple instruments. It just becomes a lot more complicated and a lot more difficult to deal with, and a lot of the times it's just not worth it. A lot of the time it's just not worth it. 2 is more than enough. So yeah, let's see how this goes. We got about 40, less than 1 minute left. And this is absolutely the climax, by the way. This is the climax of the track because we are revisiting a bunch of the content that we already did. We are adding as many layers as we can, just building up this grandiose thing. Let's see where this goes. We took away some of the arpeggios there, though. Modulation again. That's a lot of direct modulation. That's a risky thing, dude. That's a risky thing to have this much direct modulation one after the other. But it works. It makes it feel epic. It makes it feel epic to use this kind of direct modulation. So... Welcome back, Luke. Yep, here you go, absolute climax. This song sounds complicated, it's awesome to be deconstructed. And the cool thing is, a lot of these concepts are not that difficult. These are somewhat simple concepts. The thing that Dimrain has done is that he has come up with really, really cool, complicated sounding, fast melodies. And that has given it that sense of being complicated. And of course, we have this very precise machine, because the more you speed up a piece, the faster your notes are in between, the more precise you need it to be. So faster pieces, that's why faster pieces sound a lot more impressive, because you need a lot of cohesion in there. You need to be in sync with everything. It's the two extremes, right? Like playing a really fast song or track is really difficult, just like playing an extremely slow track is very difficult as well. Because it's one thing to play 16 notes a second, and it's another one to be able to accurately time 2 notes over 15 seconds. So those are the two extremes of difficulty when it comes to speed. Sometimes things, and then there's of course like syncopation of getting the timing right. Those are the 3 layers, I guess, of difficulty when it comes to rhythm. And yes, like for me in guitar, I'm up to like, I think 14 notes a second I can do with my fastest shred. About 14, maybe 15, maybe 16. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. But yeah, let's see how this ends. Let's see how this ends. Okay, the climax was kind of the A section. Now we're back to B section. Yeah, we use A double prime and B double prime to end this. Yep, off the ramp, we slow it down, and there you go. One last chord. Fairly abrupt. I would have probably kept the piano playing for like maybe one more repeat. And there you go. Why do I suddenly like the arpeggio so much? Because arpeggios are cool. Like, there's a reason why guitarists love sweep picking. Because sweep picking in guitarist language, that's just doing arpeggios in a really cool way. I love doing sweep picking. It's such a fun thing to do, and it requires a good level of skill to do it. It's still really good, yeah, no. Like, this was really good. Like, I would have just kept that piano going for maybe one more repeat and just gradually slow it down instead of just slowing it, bringing it to a halt. Still, that is still a solid ending. He didn't fade it out. So, yeah. There you go. And yes, Bonfire, yes it is. So, there you go. That was At the Speed of Light by Dimrain47. I know that this one was requested quite a bit, so there you go. We finally got it. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and I hope I have explained things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what has happened here musically. If you're watching this on the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications. Consider becoming a member, one of them paid subscription things. Support me with money if you can, no obligation. Your financial well-being comes first. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting you every 3 seconds, I will be linking it down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, go to the Discord, follow the instructions on the LFA request channel there in the pinned comments. So just do that. And if you want to catch the streams live when they happen on air, linked down below will be the Discord and the Twitch. I'll get that in a second. And the Twitch with the schedule showing in your local time zone. The stream schedule, there's a channel and a tab, respectively, showing the schedule in your local time zone so that you don't have to worry about, oh, what time is that in Europe and that kind of stuff. And yeah. With that, yeah, that's it. That's this song. There you go, At the Speed of Light by Dimrain47. Good stuff, good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.